White has a fortress. Both queens are hanging.
Wow, that was a sick move by
Queen
Fedoseev.
D7.
He's so quick with that.
Unbelievable. He's keeping himself over 10 seconds, which is really important, and he's making progress. He's trying to force the queens off the board. Rook B7, there's Queen H8.
Watch out. You really have to be careful because Queen H8 isn't just protecting the bishop.
Oh my gosh. Queen
He
H8.
allowed it because he was Queen F8.
And then Queen F6, check King E8. And if the queens are forced off the board, black is winning.
That's a sick find. See, that's the thing about Fedoseev and people like him. It's not just finding these game-ending tactics. It's finding maneuvers just like this. And he might play H5. He might go on the attack and try to boot this bishop out of here.
Knowing Vladimir, draw is not in his vocabulary right now. He's going to massage this and try to build up some time on his clock. But the problem is every move's taking him 2 or 3 seconds. Here goes the H-pawn. And here goes Vladimir Fedoseev. Queen H8. I would go Queen H8, stick that queen in there, and hope for some sort of perpetual or counterplay with Queen H8 and Bishop to E5, creating that battery on the dark squares.
Right, get the queen in first, the bishop out second, and there are going to be some problems. But the queens might be forced off the board in some of the positions there because the queen doesn't have an escape route from H8, at least not an easy one. So, for example, H4, Queen H8, H4, Bishop E5. I could already see an argument for a move like Queen D8 or Queen to F8, trying to trade those queens off desperately. So we are seeing some moves. So I'll get back to the live board. H4, Bishop F2. No way,
that was a mistake. That's an incredibly passive move. He might have forgotten that E5 is protected. Now he's on his last legs, and black is now the one going after white's king. King G6 hides from the checks.
Perfectly safe. So where is the knockout blow? Is it Bishop D3 and Queen F1?
I think it is. White is almost in Zugzwang, by the way. You have to keep your queen on that diagonal. Bishop D3 might end it.
It's done. You're just going to go
Queen
and take
H8?
this bishop. And Queen H8, then Rook takes E1 even.
Very good.
Yeah, I just want to avoid all your checks. Do everything with check. You know, that's my plan.
Queen C8, last-ditch attempt. Rook takes C1 check is the clinical move. Still a little bit of work required. I would not call this game over just yet because the pawns are on the same side. And the king on G1 is a very hard piece to dislodge. Fedoseev will have to massage this for a while.
He might need to bring his king up into the attack. Like at some point, try to trade queens. Oh, but he's going to go E5, E4. That's really smart.
That might do it. E5 coming in. The king on H6 is so safe. No checks, even hypothetically. You can't put the queen on any square that causes the king any problems.
But Fedoseev, I mean, he's making a bunch of moves. He'll have to push upon at some moment. That moment will arrive.
I think it already did arrive, Robert. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That queen on F6 was ideally placed. I don't know why he's brought his king one square to the left. There he goes. Finally.
And, oh, look at this.
Move.
It's a cocoon around his king. Everything protecting each other. Here comes E4. Now there's a target on G2. And king F5. Here comes the king joining the party.
But watch the stalemate.
Here.
I know white has pawns remaining, but with the king on H1, the pawn on G2 is pinned. King H1, there's queen takes H3 check, by the way.
Good find. And I'm wondering, Donnie, at some point, will you just line up the battery and try to take on G2? Like, it's actually don't think it's a winning. Well, now it's winning because you can't protect
King
the
H5.
pawn, but
Look at that. King slides over to H5. G4 en passant with mate on the next move. Filigree precision by Fedoseev.
Just kidding.
You mate me.
And resignation. Yeah, no, G4 would be a checkmating idea, but pawn takes, as Donnie was saying. Queen takes G3. The queen slides the corner and mate. King takes. Queen G2 is check and mate. A great win from Fedoseev. Unfortunately for Abdusattorov, he now slips out of a tie for first. You can see it on his face. He is pretty upset about this result. But, whoa.